friends, Sarah here with Boho Stitchery, and it is Monday, so it's time for Make and Knit Monday. So if you want to learn how to knit, grab some needles and some yarn and join me for Making It Monday. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a fun knitting tutorial to show you. I am going to teach you guys how to make these textured knitted washcloths using this pretty almost meshy design. I don't know what exactly you call it, but I just call it the washcloth stitch. This one is one I made, probably a few years ago. It still gets used. It's kind of ratty, but you get the idea. So if you're using these to make washcloths, you want to make sure you are using 100% cotton, because if you use something like acrylic, it will get kind of soggy and stink and it just won't last as long. So make sure you're using 100% cotton. So go ahead and grab your needles and some yarn and let's get started. Okay guys, so for today's demonstration purposes, I'm not going to be using 100% acrylic. 100% cotton rather. I have got that packed away, so I've been trying to organize my craft space a little bit. So I'm just going to show you with this worsted weight acrylic yarn. But like I said, if you're using it for a washcloth, make sure you do use 100% cotton. I'm just got a pair of double pointed knitting needles here just for demonstration purposes. I'm not going to make anything this big. I'll just do a smaller swatch. So what you want to do to start your washcloth is you need to cast on 3 stitches. So we are working this pattern diagonally. So we'll start down here and we'll increase to the width you want. Usually about 8 to 10 inches is a good rule of thumb for a washcloth, I feel like. You could make it bigger though if you wanted to. And then you decrease. So to get started, let's cast on our 3 stitches. And I will try to keep this brief, under 10 minutes. I know sometimes those wordy tutorials can get a little tedious. So once you cast it on your 3 stitches, you're going to jump right into the pattern. So for the first row, this is basically a 2-row repeat. So for the first row, you're just going to knit the first stitch. You're going to slip the next stitch. So you just transfer that second stitch from the left needle to the right needle, and I like to go through the back like I'm purling. And then you knit the last stitch, but I like to pull my yarn in front and slip the last stitch. And by doing that, that just creates, can't really see it on this one because it's kind of old and worn out, but you get these nice well-defined chain stitches on your edges when you slip your last stitch. So that's why I like to do that. It looks prettier. And now that's it for the first row. Now the second row, we're going to start our increase. Now the second row only is a little bit different than the rest of the pattern, so let me explain that. We're going to do a KFB, which stands for knit front and back. So you're going to knit it, but you're not going to take the stitch off. Instead, you're going to twist your needles around like that, and you're going to knit it again through the back leg. And by doing this, you're creating 2 stitches where there used to be 1. Then we're going to knit our second stitch. And now we have to do that again, the KFB. So you're going to knit the stitch, then twist it around and knit it again through the back. And like I said, that just creates 2 stitches where there was 1. So we increase in the front and the back. And you're only going to increase every other row. So now we started out with 3 stitches, we have 5. We're going to turn our work. And now we're going to do the same thing with row 1 with our slip stitches. So you're going to knit 1, slip 1. You're going to alternate knitting and slipping. And so the last stitch, technically we should knit it, but again, I like that nice crisp clean edge, so I'm just going to pull my yarn to the front and slip the last stitch. And that's what we're going to do. I'll go ahead and do the increase row with you guys again so you can see it a little bit better. You're going to repeat those 2 rows until your project is the width that you want. And if you're making a washcloth, like I said, I'd recommend about 8 to 10 inches. That's pretty good size, but you can certainly make it smaller, you know, if you want to make some baby washcloths or if you want something bigger. It's your project. So now, like I said, we're on a slip row. So we're going to knit 1, slip, oh, nope, you know what? I messed up. Okay, that's a good learning experience. Let me tell you guys. So I thought we were on a slip row. But let me take a look here. So say you put your project down, you come back, you can't remember which row you need to work. So we see our slip stitches right here. Let me show you on this, it's a little bigger. So you can tell this is the side with the slip stitches because you see these little bars that run. And on the back it looks like purl bumps. So it just looks like garter stitch. So that's a good. I'm glad I did that so I could show you guys. So if you see these bumps, like if your project's laying like this and you see these slip stitches, you know you need to actually increase. We're not going to be doing a knit row. So when you see your slip stitches, remember that's your increase row. Okay? So we have we have 5, so now we need to do the increase. Like I said, with row 2, we had to do the KFB in the front and the back, because if we had 3 stitches, we didn't have enough in the middle to make up for that. So what I like to do after that, for the increase row, is I'm going to start with a knit 1, and then I'm going to do my KFB. So I do my knit front, turn it around, knit it again in the back. Like I said, you have to do it in the very first stitch and the last stitch with the second row because there aren't enough stitches in the middle to do it. So again, we have 2 stitches left. I'm going to do my second increase. So I knit front and back, and then knit my last stitch there. And now we're on a slip row. So if you're looking at your work, you put it down, you come back to it, and you see all these like garter stitch or purl bumps, you know that's a slip row. So make sure you do pay attention or your work's going to come out kind of funky looking. So we knit the first stitch, slip the next, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, and knit 1 or slip the last stitch, whatever you like to do. Okay, so let's repeat those 2 rows again. This next row is an increase row, so you're going to knit 1, knit front and back, knit all the way down to your last 2, knit front and back again, and knit 1 or slip the last stitch. So go ahead and repeat those 2 rows. I'm going to do probably, let's see, I've got 2, 4, 6, 7. I'll go to about 15 and then I'll meet up with you guys. Okay guys, I am back. So I lied, I actually increased to, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. 15 I thought was a little too small for me to show you how to do the decrease, so I wanted to add a few extra rows. So my washcloth, let's say, is as wide as I want to make it. Obviously, if you're making a washcloth for yourself, you want it bigger than 19 stitches, but for demonstration purposes, we're just going to stop here. And now we're going to start on our increase. I do want to mention something though, since I'm facing the slip stitches or my right side of my work, I do want to make sure that you guys know that you should decrease. So the right side where you see the slip stitches is where we do our increases on the second and the second to the last stitch. You want to make sure that you continue your decreases the same way. So we're actually just going to knit back. So let's just knit and do our slip stitch row real quick. Sorry, I should have done that, but it's a good learning. So we'll go ahead and do our knit slip all the way back. Okay, so now we're ready to decrease. So I've gotten to where I want to go. I need to start decreasing. So in the same way that we did a KFB or a knit front and back in our second to the last stitch, we're going to do our decreases over our second and third stitch and our third and second to the last. So let me show you here. So again, we're going to knit our first stitch just like normal. And now, where we increase, we did a KFB, we're going to knit 2 together. So we're actually going to go in front of this third stitch. So we're going to stick it in here and knit those 2 together like they're 1 stitch. And then let's knit down to the last 3 stitches. And just like the increasing, where we would only increase every other row, you're only going to decrease every other row as well. So you just want to make sure you're on the slip stitch side. You're looking at that when you decrease, if that makes sense. Okay, so I've got 3 stitches left. Again, we're decreasing, so we want to knit these 2 together as if they were one. And then slip my last stitch with the yarn in front, yarn in back. And now I had 19 stitches, so we should have 17 if we did that correctly. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. And so now we're on a wrong side row, so we're going to continue our pattern of slip stitching on the wrong side row. So knit, slip, all the way to the end. So go ahead and continue that part of it, and I will meet you guys in just a moment. Okay, I finished our slip stitch row, so we still have 17 stitches, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Okay, so let me show you that decrease row one more time, just to make sure we got that down. Again, we're gonna knit the first stitch, then we're gonna knit the next 2 stitches together. So now they're one, and then let's continue to knit down to the very last 3 stitches on our left hand needle. So we'll just keep knitting. Makes me think of what's that movie, Finding Nemo, where Dory says, just keep swimming, we're just keep knitting, just keep knitting. Okay, so we have 3 stitches left, so we're going to knit the next 2 together just like we did in the beginning, because you have to increase in the front and the back, and you have to decrease in the front and the back so it stays even. And then we knit our last stitch. And that's it, guys. That's how you knit the textured washcloth stitch. So just like this one, like I said, this one's kind of ratty. I've had it for probably a few years. We use them a lot. So I've knit to the increase where I wanted to. Now I'm going to decrease. And just like this one, I should come down to 3 stitches, and then we will cast off. So I will go ahead and knit down to the last 3 stitches, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, friends, I'm back. I came back when I had 5 stitches left, because the last few rows are a little different. So I just wanted to show you that. So we're on the right side row, so we're going to do a decrease row. So I've got 5 stitches left. I'm going to knit 1, knit 2 together, and as you can see, we don't have another stitch here, so we have to knit the last stitch and this second to the last stitch together as if they were one. Now, one way to help maintain this pretty slip stitched edge, whoop, get that back on there, is we could knit these 2 together through the back loop. So let's go ahead and do that. Just on this row, that way we keep our nice uniformed looking edge. So we're going to knit those 2 together through the back loop, and now we have 3. Now I would recommend that you guys cast off on the right side. So normally where we would turn and knit back and then come back, that's going to give us, it's going to make it look a little bunched up or puckered up in the corner. So what we can do actually is go ahead and cast off now instead of turning and doing another row and then coming back. So you finished up here, or you need to cast off. You have 3 stitches left. So turn our work, we're facing the back side, and then you can cast off any which way you like. Since there's only 3 stitches, I'll probably just do a regular standard cast off. But I mean, you could do like a stretchy cast off. That's usually better if you have like a lot of stitches you're casting off or something like that. But we'll go ahead and just cast these off like normal. Okay, and then we would cut our work and weave in our ends. But that's how you do the textured washcloth stitch. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. I know it was kind of long. I tried to keep it short as I could. But yeah, so I hope this helped, and I will see you guys next week. And if I haven't mentioned already, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. That really helps out a lot, gets my content out there for others. And you can also subscribe to or follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all under boho_stitchery. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.